everyone, I am Nishu and today I am going to discuss the life cycle of protistans. Now let us begin. What is here that organisms among the protistans shows two types of life cycle. And what are the two types of life cycle? The two types of life cycles are that one, in the first one, it is showing zygotic meiosis, and in the second life cycle part, it is showing the gametic meiosis. Now, meiosis, we are going to discuss in a new chapter, cell division chapter of your class 11th portion in the later part. But now here I will not discuss it. Here we are going to discuss the life cycle. Now children, the life cycle which I am going to discuss now, you have to remember it throughout the kingdom when we will be studying. We will be discussing about plant kingdom, we will be later on discussing about fungi. Everywhere the life cycles will be coming. So that is why I am explaining the life cycles here only. That what do you mean by zygotic meiosis, gametic meiosis, what is the meaning of all those things. So let us here begin with the first part, first type, that is a life cycle showing zygotic meiosis. Now the names only are making it clear. Zygotic meiosis. It means that the meiosis process is happening during the zygotic phase, during the zygote period. Then gametic meiosis, it means that meiosis is taking place during the condition of gametes. So by name it is clear, we are going to discuss here by the cycle. You can see that I have drawn a cycle here. So with the help of this cycle, I will be explaining the zygotic meiosis, the first type. So life cycle showing zygotic meiosis among the protistans. Now, this zygotic meiosis is also called as haplontic life cycle. Now, what is the reason behind this? Here we are talking about zygotic meiosis and we are saying that it is also called as haplontic life cycle. Haplontic word has been taken from haploid. Now, why it is haploid? Here on one side we are talking about zygote and I told that zygote is a diploid structure. And on later part we are saying that it is a haplontic, it is haploid. Why? Because here in this life cycle, only the zygote phase shows the diploid condition. Only during the life cycle of protistans, among these type of organisms who are having zygotic meiosis, in them only your zygotic phase is diploid. Otherwise, rest all the phases of life is haploid. So maximum part of the life is going on with the haploid condition. So hence this process, this life cycle is also called as haplontic life cycle. Now let us understand with the help of this diagram. Now you can see that I have written here that it is an adult. It is a life cycle. This is adult. And adult is haploid. It means the organism belonging to Protista kingdom is haploid. Now this haploid adult will undergo mitosis. Mitosis is an equational division where same number of chromosomes are transferred. Now here your adult undergoes mitosis and from this mitosis two haploid gametes are produced. Two haploid gametes. Now these two haploid gametes, they fuse together by syngamy process and diploid zygote is formed. Now what is here? This is adult. It is also haploid. The gametes are also haploid. But your zygote after fusion becomes diploid structure. Only this is the condition where in your life cycle your zygote is becoming diploid. Rest again this diploid zygote undergoes meiosis, reductional division, number of chromosomes will become half. Now here it will move on and again it will be developing into haploid adult. So only this is one of the phase, zygotic phase, where diploid structure is present, where diploid zygote is present. Rest, adult is also haploid, gametes are also haploid, and after this, because of meiosis division, your adult also becomes haploid. So this life cycle is also called as haplontic life cycle because maximum part is haploid and only zygotic phase is diploid. Now this is also called as zygotic meiosis. Why it is called as zygotic meiosis? Let us see. Why it is called as zygotic meiosis? Because In this, almost all the protistants are haploid. And in this type of meiosis, in this type of life cycle, the meiosis occurs in zygotic phase. Now what I want to explain is that here, what does this sentence mean? Is that in this zygotic meiosis process, this is a zygote, and this zygote, you can see, is undergoing the division meiosis. So this meiosis is a reductional division which gives a half number of chromosomes having an offsprings. Now, what does the process explains? What happens during this lifespan is that during this lifespan, the gametes are formed by the mitosis division. Actually, this process occurs with the beginning of sexual reproduction. So, during sexual reproduction, from an haploid adult, two gametes are formed by mitosis division. And mitosis is an equational division where number of chromosomes remains maintained. It means that the adult was having half number of chromosomes, so gamete developed from them by a mitosis division will also have half number of chromosomes. So gametes are haploid in this case. Now, these two haploid gametes, they fuse together by syngamy process to form zygote, and you can see that zygote is 2n structure. It means that it is a diploid structure. Diploid means the number of chromosomes present in this gamete and in this gamete, they are retained and maintained in the zygote, and the zygote becomes a diploid structure. Now after this, what happens? That this diploid zygote undergoes meiosis cell division, due to which the number of chromosome again becomes half. Why? Because meiosis is a reductional division where number of chromosome becomes half. So due to this meiosis, the number of chromosome becomes half, and the adults which are formed, they are again haploid. So this is what your life cycle showing zygotic meiosis means. Now I will be explaining that life cycle showing gametic meiosis. Now moving to the next life cycle. Now life cycle showing gametic meiosis. Till yet I have discussed life cycle showing zygotic meiosis. Now I will be explaining that life cycle showing gametic meiosis. Now, this gametic meiosis phase is also called as diplontic life cycle. As I told you all that zygotic meiosis was called as haplontic life cycle. Similarly, here gametic meiosis is also called as diplontic life cycle. Why? What is the reason behind? Because if I move to this graph, now what happens here? You can see that only gamete is a condition which is in haploid condition. Rest all the phases are diploid. If I talk about this zygote phase, this is also diploid. If I talk about this adult phase, this is also diploid. So maximum part of the life cycle, the maximum stages which are present during the life cycle is diploid, and only gametic phase is present which is haploid. So hence this lifespan is also called as diplontic life cycle, because maximum part of the stages which belongs to this phase is diploid. Only gametic phase is haploid. Now, why it is called as gametic meiosis? Again, a reason is same, because the meiosis is taking place during the gamete formation. What was during zygotic meiosis? The meiosis was taking place after the zygote formation. Here, during the gametic formation, meiosis is taking place. Hence, this phase is also called as gametic meiosis. You can see here that this diploid adult is undergoing meiosis cell division, reductional cell division to develop two haploid gametes. In case of zygotic meiosis or haplontic lifespan, the adult was haploid, and that haploid was undergoing mitosis division to produce two haploid gametes. But here, in this case of gametic meiosis or diplontic lifespan, this diploid adult is undergoing meiosis to produce haploid gametes. Now what happens during this lifespan? During the sexual reproduction process, the adults undergo meiosis to produce two haploid gametes. These two haploid gametes fertilize together to form a diploid zygote. Then this diploid zygote undergoes mitosis. It means that they will show growth, they will develop into an adult, and this adult will also be an diploid structure, diploid cell. This is what your life cycle showing gametic meiosis means. So I hope this is clear to you all that what is zygotic meiosis, gametic meiosis, or what do you mean by haplontic lifespan, diplontic lifespan. So this is clear to you. Now I'll be moving to the next part, next topic of this chapter. Now before moving to the examples of kingdom protista, the last characteristic feature which is very important, and what is it? That this protistance forms a link with the other type of kingdoms. Now what do you mean by link with the other type of kingdoms? It means that in the beginning there was many controversies, there were many confusions that because the organisms belonging to kingdom protista, they share the characteristic features of many other kingdoms also. The properties which the other organisms or belonging to other kingdoms were having, they were possessed in this. So that is why the confusion was there. But later on, those confusion was sorted out and kingdom protista was separated from your kingdom fungi, plantae and animalia. But what we need to know here is that what were the kingdoms which were linked with the kingdom protista. So it was categorized into three types, and these three categories were plant-like protist, animal-like protist and fungus-like protist. It means that the protistants were sharing the characters of kingdom plantae. The protistants were sharing the characteristics of kingdom animalia, and kingdom protista was sharing the characteristics of kingdom fungi, kingdom fungus. So this is why it was also called as plant-like protist, animal-like protist and fungus-like protist. And the examples of this type of protist, if algae is there. If I take example of Euglena. Now Euglena shares the characteristic of autotrophs also and heterotrophs also. Euglena have chlorophyll also. During sunlight present, they can prepare their food by themselves. But when they are not getting sunlight or when they are unable to photosynthesize, then what will they do? They start behaving like heterotrophs. They start taking food from the other organisms. So when we go through that example, then some of the protist like Euglena, they belong to kingdom Animalia because they were sharing the characteristics of heterotrophs. So that is why they were considered under group of animal-like protist. But they were protozoans like amoeba was there, your paramecium was there, many such examples were here which were considered in the group of kingdom protista who was sharing the characteristic features of kingdom Animalia. And now your slime molds, water molds, these are the examples which are behaving like kingdom fungi, which are sharing the characteristic features of kingdom fungi. Hope children this much is clear to you all. Now I'll be moving to the examples of kingdom protista like chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, etc. I hope you have understood this.